So Matt, let's take a walk through, huh?
All right.
Everything's not finished. Don't even have the sign on the door, but we're moved in and we've already seen patients for a week. So it's worked out pretty well. So when you guys designed this, I had asked for a really good front office space, and Gary was amazing at taking what we had preliminarily drawn on paper and just made it really very functional. So it's Friday. Our team's here with no patients, so just getting some paperwork done, and one of the things I think that was really important was getting their feedback, because
Absolutely.
I can design something all day long, you can design something all day long, but these people are the ones that need to work there. So, with a lot of their input, we were able to get it designed just the way that.
Well, I think that's, we started off with that preliminary design, just us.
Yeah.
And then I think the real changes started to come when we presented it to your team and everybody started providing feedback and things like that.
Yeah. So far they seem really happy. They haven't yelled at me yet. And I think that's going to work out well. So we designed 4 hygiene rooms. The cabinetry we ended up getting through Midmark, as well as a lot of the equipment. And, so I want to talk a little bit about that experience, because we were able to visit the Midmark factory. We also looked at other equipment as well, but that was part of the process, was actually deciding, okay, which manufacturer do we want to work with, or manufacturers?
Yeah.
And then, who's going to put together the best package, and what do you feel comfortable with? So, I know we went up to Belmont, we went to Midmark, we talked about other equipment, and we ended up settling on Midmark, who did an absolutely beautiful job on the cabinet. So
they did.
Maybe talk a little bit about the inspiration, for which companies you like to work with as far as equipping operatories.
Sure. Well, probably the first thing we do in a situation like this is we come in, because you had an existing practice, and we want to take a good inventory of what you've got and what's going to be moved.
Right.
We start to look at the floor plan, to start talking about what's going to go where. And then we start to research, okay, what's what manufacturer or who would be the best fit to really kind of help to expand your practice, incorporating your existing stuff. So you would see in here, there's a little bit of a mix of maybe some stuff you already had that was in good working
we weren't getting rid of our old equipment.
100%. We took some of that. We even kind of, added to some of it, some dental units, things like that. But then we
this is actually an example. So this was a DCI chair that I had, and we decided that we were going to go over the patient with everything, where before I had side delivery, which ended up taking on a couple of lefties, so that didn't work out very well. So we decided to go over the patient and try to make things uniform, so you were actually able to find like a DCI unit that could work with my pre-existing chair, and then incorporate that into the overall Midmark design.
Yeah, sure. That was a great thing. We were able to kind of repurpose a lot of your existing stuff, add to it when needed, using different some other manufacturers. But ultimately, I think that the Midmark, when we saw that, I mean, the equipment, the cabinetry, I mean, everything they had just really fit your design and everything. I know you've got a little bit of a surgical center here as well.
Yeah, so we're going to go look at that.
They have some amazing surgical equipment and setups and stuff. So they were, I feel like, the best equipped to really help you.
They've been on the medical side for so long that
absolutely.
That when I said what I wanted to do, it was like, okay, that fit right in, and literally they put a schematic together right there on the spot while we were there. Let's walk up a little bit. So we had a lot of discussions about the design, and we had the one long main hallway with all the dental operatories. And so I love kind of how it ended up, because I took all my past experiences and what I had wished for in the past.
Yeah.
And we were able to kind of incorporate that. So we start down the long hallway. We have 2 more hygiene rooms, and then the rest is dedicated for dental operatories. But what we did was, along the hallway, we put 3 sink areas, where if a patient, just wants to wash real quickly without having to run to the restroom or something like that, or you know, if an assistant or something in the hallway just wants to wash up before they go in, it's just easy. They don't have to work their way around a patient in the room. So we have 3 of those lined up down the hallway. I think you've already seen the sterilization area that we built. Um, they did not make that space wide enough for the ultrasound, so they're coming back to readjust to drop the ultrasound in there.
That's a great flow,
The
though.
ultrasonic, yeah. But really, you know, your design and your team's design, the assistants absolutely love the flow going through there, having double access. We've got a storage room built right on to the sterilization area. And so as we walk down the treatment hallway, we've actually made kind of a loop or a circle where we'll go by the dental operatories, the surgical suite, and we made a wet and dry lab next to each other, which kind of excited about.
Yeah, that is something that's pretty exciting. I mean, you know, we're starting to incorporate more and more technology, of course, into labs. So you have both a digital lab, which has got a nice window for displaying all the technology, and then you've got a wet lab there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Okay, so one of the other things that was on my wish list at my old office was a place to put the technology that was easily accessible for all of the assistants or hygienists, but out of the way, like not in the hallways or not crowding up operatories, or they're not having to look to another room or go find a piece of equipment. So we haven't even finished the build out on this technology area, but what I started with was just an alcove, and then we're going to actually custom build something, either some sliding doors or whatever, so that we can hide this if we want. But I just love that this is an out of the way area. And again, it's just set up temporarily now, but it's working so well. Everyone just come out, they can grab the laser, they can grab the CEREC, they can grab the iTero, whatever they need to get, they can get it, and it has a place for it to go back, and it's out of the way for the patients, which is, you know, kind of key. We did mid-mark operatories again. We had some mid-mark equipment already, and then we added on to that. The cabinet designs, we got to pick the surface finishes. You know, after going to the factory, I was pretty amazed at the technology to make this stuff and the quality that goes into it. I know everybody always talks about, you know, oh, the cabinetry is so expensive, but when you see the process and the materials and the quality that goes into it, you know this stuff is going to be around for a long time. So you see all the mid-mark cabinetry designed completely to our specifications, different sizes on the 12 o'clock cabinet and on the doctor's cabinet. We actually have our assistants using rolling carts. That seems to be what works the best for them on the assistant side. And as I said, we have the 3 wash stations that we incorporated into the hall area so that assistants could easily wash up before walking into any operatory as well. So one of my favorite things about our design, Matt, was the surgical suite. Yeah. So we wanted to have something where we could bring an anesthesiologist in if we wanted to. I don't do sedation. I know there's a lot of docs who do, but we have brought anesthesiologists in to sedate while we're doing implant surgeries and other types of surgeries. So we built a little surgical area, and you really helped me design this. And we were up at Midmark, and maybe talk about, you know, how we went through this and the 3D rendering.
Yeah. So what was so nice about going to Midmark is we brought our floor plan there. They had put everything onto a pretty large screen in a conference center. They brought in their cabinetry team and their sales team, and they really, what you see here, they designed it on the spot in front of us with Dr. Horowitz's, you know, feedback. And so, I mean, all of this is completely custom to you know, what you had wanted.
Yeah, and it was very easy too. So, you know, the materials that went into here, you notice the floor is a little bit different, but it didn't take a lot extra to build this to true surgical specifications. So, you know, at some point other specialists wanted to come in and do some surgeries, that we could really meet the criteria for a full-on surgical center if needed. But we have the built-in medical gases there. We did several carts, which I love the variety and the selection of different types of mobile carts that Midmark had. So we built one surgical, one to be on the doctor's side, and one large one to either be for an assistant, or we built a little alcove for the anesthesiologist over there too, where it wouldn't be so crowded in for the patient. The thing I love the most, though, is now when we do implant surgeries, very often it's in conjunction with an implant procedure or with some type of an immediate restoration. And so we built the wet lab with a sliding glass door, and not glass, with a sliding door, so that the surgery room could be isolated, but that the wet lab was right there for us to go in and out from the surgical room for adjustments. And again, we're still setting up right now. This is our first week in. We haven't hung anything on the walls yet, but I really just wanted everyone to see, what went into this and the thought process and just how much Atlanta helped me in creating this design.
I mean, it was really, really well thought out from the nurses station that's there for check-in for the surgical side. There's a sedation, recovery room.
Little recovery room that we added on with its own dedicated restroom as well.
So we've got that. The surgical suite flows into the lab, but the wet lab, and then we have the digital lab on the other side. So, I mean, it all worked together beautifully.
Yeah. Well, let's go check out the digital lab, because this is what I'm really excited about. So, and actually waiting for our new 3D printer to come in. So we have one at the other location, have a new 3D printer. But I wanted patients to be able to see this. So we've got an open cabinet, but we do a lot of our own milling. We do a lot of our own 3D printing. And so I wanted patients to be able to see the technology. So we built this room onto a main hallway where we could put a glass window and patients could actually see the crowns being milled or the 3D products being printed and see that we were a high-tech office. So just really excited about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys did a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
So everyone, all the crying that I've done, there is some happiness at the end of the road, and it's been an amazing journey. As I said, the easy part has been the dental side of it. The tough part has been the construction side. But with a partner like Atlanta and AIDA, I just can't imagine having done it any other way.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you, and we appreciate being a part of it, and excited to see where it goes from here.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay.